do a quick one, and hopefully it will be, on what to do when you overshoot your RPE. Just go over that just briefly. When you're warming up, maybe your last warm-up set, you'd probably get a pretty good indication. You know, don't be stubborn. If you know it's not your day, please just be smart and regulate the weights, and know that that's okay, and that's why we use RPE, you know, rate of perceived exertion. That's why we use that, so we can keep you safe. So yeah, on your last warm-up set, if things don't feel as good, leave it. Also need to realise that there is almost no difference between, say you're going to hit a single at an 8 or a set of 5 at a 9. Two different examples there. Say you hit them at an 8.5 or a 7.5. You know, half an RPE off or half an RPE underneath what you're going to be doing, that's fine. When you're one whole RPE off, then maybe you should put some more weight on. But if you're going to do a single at an 8 and it's a 7.5, that's fine. Just leave it there. Put it down as a 7.5 and realise that that's the same thing. So if you think about it, the predicted max of doing, say, 130 for a single at a 7.5 is the same as doing 135 for a single at an 8, or whatever the numbers are. So moving something faster and having a slightly lower RPE isn't a bad thing. It's not like, oh right, I've missed that a little bit, I felt like I could do 2 or 3 reps of that, I should do more weight. Just leave it there, and that's okay, and just put it down as a 7.5. And you put it down as 7.5, your estimated will be higher because of it. Whereas if you do a 7.5 and then go, right, I'm going to try and get an 8 and add more weight to the bar, and then you end up doing a 9 at a 9, then that wasn't the desired training effect, and you've overshot it by a whole RPE rather than being out by half an RPE. So that's something to bear in mind. Also, let's just say you have, unfortunately, come unstuck, and instead of hitting an RPE 8, you hit an RPE 9.5, or perhaps even a 10. What should you do? Well, in this example, what you should do is go to the dashboard, and on the dashboard, in the main lifts column, put in, there's 2 options here. You can either put it in your max, so let's say, for example, you hit 110 for a single at a 10, and it was meant to be around 110 for a single at an 8. So it's either a bad day for you, or it's reflective of your max. So if you think it's a reflective of your max, go into the dashboard in the main lift section and put in 110 for 1 at a 10, or a 9.5 if you feel that is more accurate. Then what that will do is update your numbers for your back off sets. Or if you feel that it's just an off day but not truly representative, Jesus, I'm broken, I can't think of the word. Oh my Christ, what is wrong with my brain? Too many meetings today. I'm just going to skim over that word now, like it never happened. It wasn't a true representation of your strength. Then go to the top right hand corner of the dashboard page, which a lot of you don't even know that exists, which is fine, because it's not like super useful all the time, but there's something there called the top set calculator. So what you can do there is you put in the lift, then that will select your custom RPE chart. You put in whether you want to round it to 2.5 kilo increments or 1.25s or 1 kilo increments, depending on how nerdy you are / what plates you have. Then you put in what you've just done. So say in this exact same example, you did 110 for a single and it was at a 10 or a 9.5, and you want to work out what you should do for sets of 5 at a 9. It will be able to estimate that for you. It will give you work up sets 1, 1 and 2, and then your estimated, and in bold the estimated, that's the number for your estimated top set. The other two are just, if you were doing it the other way around, they could be warm-up sets. So if you said that was your max and you were working up in doing 1 at 6, 1 at 7, 1 at 8, that would estimate that. So just really focus on the one in bold that says estimated set, if I remember rightly. So that could be useful if you feel that it's just a one-off, but you don't really know what to do with your back-off sets. I see it quite a lot. So I just want to remind everyone that's a feature that's on the program, and I will always try and help everyone put the right weight on the bar and try and lift it the right amount of times to get the desired training effect, right? So if you've missed your RPE, but you don't think it's a true representation of your strength, and you're like, shit, what do I do for a drop-off set now? Well, in comes the calculator that is found on your dashboard on the right-hand side, just above the Puff and Fluff section. And in there, you can edit your stuff, and you can put in a calculation. So 110 for a single out of 10. Basically, this all comes from someone today who did 110 for a single, and it's maybe about an 8.5. Ended up being about 9.5. Then they didn't change their back offset, and they still stuck with, I think it was 100 for 5. They only got 4, and the goal was 100 for 5 at 9. So if they went onto their dashboard, or or went on the calculation, top set calculator, if you put in 110 for 1 at 10, that would have given them 95 kilos for 5 out of 9, which really would have been bang on for them, and I think that would have been the perfect weight for them. It's not a problem, and it's all a learning curve, and they still got a good effect from the 100 before. But if they had used this calculator, they would have been able to load the right weight on the bar, lift it the right amount of times, and get that sort of desired training effect for that particular day. We don't really want to be failing reps in the gym. We want to be constantly building this positive momentum, whatever you want to call it, positive feedback loop. Just a reminder that calculator exists. So if you're ever unsure, if you've not hit the desired top set, you can always use that calculator. Because I know a lot of you don't, and that's fine. However, it can really help making decisions to stick that right weight on the bar and just lift it the right amount of times. So in this example, if the person had done 95 for 5 out of 9, and then the subsequent back off sets would have been at 90 for 5s, they would have been able to do all those sets and felt really good about it. Instinctively, they sort of knew this a bit. And after 100 for 4 out of 10, what they did was it was really 9.5. I mean, it looked pretty good. They just reset the last one completely, stood up from it, lost all stretch reflex out of the hamstrings, and they had to go again. But they instinctively knew. After that set, 100 for 4, they thought, right, well, doing 95 for 5 isn't going to happen, so they took it down to 90. Which is good, because that shows the calculator for this particular person is picking up the right numbers, which is great. But if they had used this calculator from the beginning after the top set, they should have put it in 110 for 1 at 10, and they would have been given 95 for 5 at a 9, and they probably would have felt a lot better about that, not failing any reps, more confident, and had a number in mind to beat in 2-3 weeks time if they do 5s again, or next week, or whenever it may be. So anyway, just a reminder, if you're unsure of what to do with your back offsets, check out the calculator. If you're unsure about how that works, change the dashboard if you think it's a true representation of your strength. That's just a quick tip. If you're feeling shit in your warm-ups, don't stick to protocol. Remember that your protocol is to hit the desired RPE. So if you think, don't just think about what you did last week, week before, and so on. When the rep scheme comes around again, if you're not stronger that particular day, that's totally fine. This person actually has had a fantastic performance recently and is absolutely crushing it. Unfortunately, they're under a bit of fatigue. So you can't present overload every single day. You can't perform at your best every single day, and not every day you are able to PB. So there are things to consider, and and be happy about. So anyway, that was that. Let me know if you have any more questions whatsoever. I know this wasn't really a question by this person, but it was just such a good mistake to make, because I know this person will now grow from this and now start to analyze their performance a bit better and really start to think about what weights they're putting on the bar for their drop-off sets. So I think it's been a great lesson, and a very, very cheap one, a very easy one, and a very quick one to make. So yeah, it's certainly a good thing to make mistakes in training. Of course, let me know if you're unsure about anything, because stuff like this, the person told me straight away and immediately pointed them towards the calculator, how to bet their training, and hopefully they will. So anyway, just thought I'd pass it on to everyone, and if you have any questions, let me know. But yeah, anyway, see you all soon.